Welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about an overview of what you need to do to put in an offer. There's going to be several documents that are required to submit an offer, and it's really important that you understand what these all are and how they all work together. Particularly because right now in Pennsylvania, where I'm at in Allentown, the market is really hot, and in order for you to be able to submit an offer, you're going to have it in writing, because sellers are seeing several offers come in, and now a phone call or an email with the terms of your offer are just not accepted, and they want to see it in writing. So we're going to go over all the documents that are required for an offer, and later videos will explain each of those documents in detail. So there's two main categories that you need to know about for the documents for an offer. The first category would be the documents that the seller receives as a package considered as your offer. The other category will be the documents that are required by the brokerage that you're working with in order to be allowed to submit that offer. So let's start with those first. Those would start off with a consumer notice, and that you should have received right off the bat, that talks about the role of your realtor and the brokerage they work for. The next one will be the buyer contract, the relationship that you've established with that broker. Again, in my case, the broker would be Weichert. Then the next is the earnest money deposit notice, and that would be you being aware of where the money's going when you make a deposit on a house. Then you have your notice of close dates, and that's where you are aware of some factors that might affect the date of your closing on the house. Then the estimate of your closing costs, and that's a brief estimate to the best of my knowledge that I put together for you of the costs that are going to be associated with that purchase. Then you have the FHA get an inspection document, where you're recommended to get a home inspection so that you're fully aware of the property that you're purchasing. And then the last notice in this category would be the RESPA disclosure, and that's where Weichert established, or the company you're working for establishes, that there are some other companies that they have business relationships with, so that you're aware of that. Now let's talk about the offer itself. First off, you're going to start with a sales contract, and that's the biggest document that has all the terms of your offer and all the contingencies, and where you're able to communicate the strength of your offer. Then you have the signed, initialed seller's disclosure, where you're fully aware of all the different factors of the house that the sellers presented to you in writing. And optionally, if the home's built before 1978, you'll want to make sure to sign that lead-based paint disclosure as well. Then you're going to have your compensation addendum. That's an addendum to the agreement of sale, where it talks about who's paying who, and that'll establish the fact that the listing company is paying the buying company. Then you're going to have the escalation addendum as optional. If you expect there to be several offers on the table, you might want to talk to your realtor about including a price escalation clause. We'll talk about that in another video in more detail. And then you're going to have a picture of your earnest money deposit check, and that won't be delivered until you actually have a signed offer. So you're just going to take a picture of that. The last thing that you'll want to consider for your offer is a personalized letter to the seller. And that's where you would write a little note to the seller explaining why you love the home and you're really excited to live there. And maybe include a picture of yourself. So that's it for both the offer and the different documents that need to precede that offer. And we're going to go into these documents in more detail in later videos. But as always, make sure to read everything that you sign.